Hi, I'm Brian Alano, and welcome to Brickworld Fort Wayne 2015. And this is the Great Ball Contraption collaboration. All right, so we'll start here right under the arch with a very zebra stripe version of the workshop module we did at Brickworld Chicago this year. So that's a stackable module. We'll talk more about that at the corner. This is an old one from Brian Bonahum, a conveyor that has a nice swirly widget at the end. This is a first-timers module. Mitchell built this, and it has been rock solid all day. So fabulous first module. Run into another conveyor by Brian Bonahum to a very large wheel that takes in everything that conveyor can give it. And that takes us to this stackable module, which you may have seen at Brickworld Chicago. We have 8 modules running here. Turns a nice corner. Composed of 8 separate GBC modules stacked up, one feeding another, then turning this corner and having this dead drop sort of falling into that deadpan there to keep them from bouncing out, to another one of Brian's modules, a very reliable stepper. Onto this red one called Accidental Push, because it was never intended to be a GBC module, but it did not work at M-Tron at all. Works great on the GBC. Feeding into a simple conveyor, dropping into another wheel module, and then very slowly going through the zigzag, occasionally jamming like we see right there. So we'll help that along. One of John Brost's old modules, working very well today. Has a toggle in the middle to go down 2 separate paths, and then a couple dials there to spin them through and to feed into the very next module, which is based on the Greek legend of Sisyphus. So Sisyphus was a king who was a real scoundrel. God finally got even with him by condemning him to roll a stone up a hill, but never reaching the top of the hill. Every time it got to the top, it would roll back down. So you may be able to see him climb up very slowly. What happens is the balls feed in to this eternal clock at the bottom, come to the top, feed through a chute behind there, and then in front turns a spindle, which very slowly turns a crank, which very slowly turns the chain, which rolls him up the hill. At the very top of the hill, he will hit a little rise, which will push him back down to roll the stone up a hill one more time. Feeding now into an old pump module, which is there only to serve to feed into the 3 letters GBC for, of course, Great Ball Contraption. Here, this is what I call a lift and dump, or drag and dump. Feeds 5 balls at most into the cart, and the cart has no bottom on it, so when it gets to the top, dumps into the next module, which is a Archimedes Spiral, sort of inverted because the inside is turning. You probably have seen that one before. Feeding into John Brost's sort of bucket brigade module, which you may have also seen before. It's working really well. Following the bucket brigade module, we have another yellow stepper module. This was the second slowest module on the layout until we pulled out my very slow module, and it then became the slowest module on the layout. This, I'm told, is the oldest Great Ball Contraption module in existence. It was the very first one built by Steve Hassenplug, and it's been doing just fine. Another ball pump, this time feeding into a flip-flop, which takes the ball on 2 paths into these arms, and we have a dial here. We can flip it so the balls go in just 2 separate paths, or as we're doing it today, feeding all into one single path. Now this module, I believe it's a brand new module made by Nicky Fitzpatrick, and I just love it. Feeds this long conveyor up into this tube, and you'll see SpongeBob riding this tube. The balls fall in, and they get caught in the middle, and then as the tube comes to the top of the arch, it dumps them back out again. All of that very exciting. And I just noticed a little bit ago, there's a Z-nap axle, twist flex axles in this module. So if that means something to you, you should get excited also, because I've never seen that axle used successfully before. Here, another of Nicky Fitzpatrick's module, a counter. It's working extremely well. You can see the balls actually push this yellow wheel, and the yellow wheel is turns the ones dial, and every 10 times around it'll push this black arm, which will turn the next one, and so on all the way up to count 10s. So there it goes, almost touching to push it to the next number. That feeds down into another one of these dual lift arms. We've talked about that already. This one's just a different color. This is that agitator is feeding this ball pump. This ball pump is made of two pieces, two lift arms that do all the pumping action. It's worked really well. Moving into this this kind of stepper, so that's looked really good. I've been wanting to eat that ice cream all day. This was the Brickworld 2014 workshop module in exciting colors. This is made by Brad and Matt Sweet. Nice marble runs feeding up to the top. He's got two paths he can go around. One is this long turn, and then the other one coming around here, he does a hard slope and a loop-de-loop. And can you feed some modules behind us, balls behind us? And we're kind of slow on balls. We'll get some more balls rolling here. John Brost has got a double stepper here. There's the smallest Brickworld module you can use. I think that's Steve Hassenplug's. You've probably seen that before as well. So moving up from John's stepper, feeds into this Archimedes Spiral also. You can't see it inside from the outside until you come to the corner. And you'll see in John's spiral there we got a couple balls going. Balls rolling up that spiral, dumping out the yellow chute, and into this NXT controlled module elevator, which dumps them in, lifts them up, and feeds into a derivative of the Brickworld GBC conveyor, which exists to feed into this Akiyuki derived train car. So loads the train. Train is actually powering the dumping mechanism, doing the reverse on the train and back again. Finally got that working reliably for once. Now we're getting ready. Feeds up the stepper and into another Akiyuki derivative by Steve Hassenplug of the picking arms. So that's been working real well today also. Nice to have it here. It's always a crowd pleaser. And we come up to our final module, which none of us would survive without, which is this long arch conveyor. Brings the balls all the way up, well over my head, and across the entryway into the GBC, which lets us save our knees for the next show so that we can survive and bring you yet another great ball contraption. So that is the Great Ball Contraption Fort Wayne. Thanks for watching, and build a GBC.